You want me to start in 2017? So we just coming up our championship. When we won the championship, it was one of the biggest changes in my life. Man, like so many doors opened up after that finals. Let me just explain to you what happened after the championship. First off, I had never been in that type of killer mode in my life. I had never been in that type of killer mode in my life. I played some incredible games, but I was in a killer mode, bro. Killer mode. Assassin mode, bruh. Assassin mode. As I say, my life changed and doors opened up. When I came into the next season, our expectations were to do it again. My focus level that next year was at an all-time high. All-time high. If you look at it, that season that I had the year after the championship, what's my stats? Go look at it. That whole season, man, I'm thinking I'm having one of the best years of my career. And what ended up happening was we got to the finals again, and what happened? Who did the Warriors have? Who did the Warriors have? Yeah, y'all were trying to say all this stuff about KD. Why would he do that? Look, you had people really convincing y'all that KD ruined the game. This is by far one of the worst moves I've ever seen. We had a great team. We had a similar team, right, from the year before. But when you add KD to an already great team, it's just gonna be a historical. It's gonna be a historical matchup. We were down 3-0. No type of light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna try to talk and play at the same time, but it's hard for me. But we're going against the Warriors, bro, with KD. I don't know how many teams are beating that team, bro. Klay, Steph, Draymond, KD. Who else did they have on that team? Did they have JaVale on that team? Yes, they had JaVale. They had a mob, bro. Andre Iguodala. They had a mob. And I'm not saying we didn't have a mob at all. I'm not saying we didn't have a mob, bro. I'm not. But we were supposed to lose that series 4-0. What ended up happening in game 4 at Cleveland. We still got 4-1, but what happened? At least we gave it an attempt. Most people would have folded 4-0 in the finals, right? And then what been saying about Bron's legacy after that, or my legacy after that? What people been saying after that, bro? This is the biggest hit to his legacy. I can't believe that, you know, they didn't win one game and yada 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 and this and that and this and that. But honestly, what really mattered? At least just getting one game, right? Because we're going against a team that has every position filled, where we're going against a juggernaut. We're going against a juggernaut of a team, right? So we win that game. We go back to Golden State. They end up drubbing us again. You know, it was a tough series. So 2017, we end up going to the finals. We lose 4-1. We go into the summertime. For me, I made a decision that I was just gonna take my time, get some rest, enjoy the summer, really think about what my future holds. And there's more to this story, but I'm gonna give y'all the simpler version. Going to summer, and I'm like, look, man, I honestly think I need something new. I'm appreciative of winning a championship here. I'm 1-2 in the finals with Cleveland. You know what I mean? I definitely don't want to leave Bron or Shump or JR or K-Love or T-Top, because I feel like we can go at this thing at least 2 more years, right? So it was a tough decision. I didn't expect for all of what happened to take place, because let me tell you what I got myself into. I ended up going on First Take after I asked for a trade, which was, in my opinion, at this point, when I could look back on it and reflect, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have gone on First Take, bro, because it was a setup. It was a setup. I called them, and I said, I called them, by the way. I called them. I called First Take. I called First Take myself and was like, yo, I'm coming on. They didn't call me. I called them. When I look back on it, I wouldn't do it again. So I got on there, and that's when I realized that it was more than just about the business or the game of basketball. It was about pinning 2 kings, right, against each other to make it seem like we hated one another, to the point where I had to leave, or I wanted to leave because of some unknown reason that everybody was wondering, like, was it this? What was it, Bron? Was it Cleveland? Was it this? Was it that? No, I was like, nah, bro, it was me. I wanted something new. That was on me. And what ended up happening after that was, after I got off First Take, it didn't make anything better. It just made speculation happen more. So when all the speculation happened, more everybody asking questions, that's when they started doing weird shit. When I say they, I mean the media. They started asking people around me what's going on. They started asking people, you know, what does Kyrie think about this? And people started snitching, bro. It was weak. It was weak. He's trying to pin me against Bron this whole entire time. Like, oh man, Kai hates Bron, Bron hates Kai. It was never like that. It was never like that. I repeat, it was never like that. I go back home to Jersey, and I just need some time to think. And I get a call, and they're like, look, you about to film Uncle Drew soon, so you got to pack your shit up, and you about to be in Atlanta for 2 weeks. I mean, for 2 months. I filmed Uncle Drew that whole summer. When I asked for my trade, I'm asking my agent what's going on day to day. Like, yo, what's happening? What teams are calling? Now, a few teams called. I'm not going to throw any teams under the bus because I respect the shit out of a lot of organizations. So I'm not going to throw any team under the bus. But Boston called, you know, they were like, hey, you know, we're interested, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, all right, cool. We could do this. Mind you, what did Boston finish in the rankings or in the standings that year after we lost in the finals? Does anybody remember my series against Boston before I got to Boston? So Boston called and they're like, yo, we're making moves. I said, bet. We draft Jay Tatum, if you don't know who JT is. We got Jaylen Brown on the team. We got Marcus on the team. We got Al Horford on the team. We draft Daniel Tice. So we got a young group. We got other guys on the team. We had Shimi Ojale. We had all these guys, and those are all my brothers, by the way. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna throw anything but positivity and light those guys' way. But dealing with the business side and seeing what had to happen behind the scenes for me to get traded, that was crazy. I did not expect 5 players to get traded for me. I did not expect all of this extra hoopla to come out of it, man. I was just expecting for, you know, me to get traded, go to Boston, have a great time, sign a max deal, stay in Boston for at least 10 years and retire, because I was like, man, this opportunity, I can't throw it off the table. This means a lifetime to me. My mom and my dad met in Boston. I grew up going to Boston University camps, a Celtics fan, just from afar. You know, it was just like a match made in heaven. So when I got there, man, I was so hyped. I was so ready for a fresh start. I was just like, man, look, they finished first last year. We just went against them. Brad Stevens is the head coach. I feel like there's nothing that could go wrong here. So 2017, get traded, film Uncle Drew that whole summer, get traded to Boston. Bam, season starts. What happened the first 16 games in Boston, bro? Gordon Hayward goes down with one of the worst injuries we have ever seen. He went down with one of the worst injuries we have ever seen. I literally saw it happen live, and I had to say prayers right after that, because I think we all felt the air be sucked out of the arena when that happened. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So, boom, that happens game 1. We lose Gordon. We spent all the preseason playing together. We spent all the preseason getting to know one another. Bam, Gordon goes down. Bam, okay, cool. Now who steps up in that? JT. We all knew JT was nice at Duke, but did we expect JT to be that nice his rookie year? Yes, I did. I knew he was nice. I knew it. I knew JB was nice. And when I say JT and JB, I'm talking about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I knew they were nice. Did I know Marcus Smart was as great as he is now, like a potential defensive player there? Absolutely, bro. I saw it every day in practice. I knew how great these guys were and still are to this day. So, bam, we go through the season. We go on a 16-game win streak, 15-game win streak. I don't even remember what it is. Everybody was writing us off. We lost our first 3 games. Oh, my gosh, what's going on with the Celtics? Yada, yada, yada. All right, so fast forward. We go through the 15-game win streak. We end up splitting the rest of the games the rest of that season. Around game 60, my knee started acting up. And when my knee started acting up, I had to go back to Cleveland, where I got my original surgery, to get 2 screws taken out of my knee. I don't know if anybody in this chat has ever, I don't think anyone's ever, if you've ever got knee surgery and you had screws put in your knee, you can understand what I'm saying. But if you have not, I'm going to do my best job to explain it to you. I had 2 screws in my knee with wires tying in my kneecap. I got that done in 2015 after I went down in the first finals. So fast forward 2018, my knee starts acting up. They take out the wiring. They take out the wiring in my kneecap, and they test it for an infection. They take out the wiring. It comes back positive for an infection. I now have to get a PICC line going from my bicep all the way to my heart to take antibiotics. I had a PICC line, and I still have the scar to this day, going straight from my bicep all the way to my heart. It was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever dealt with. It was one of the most embarrassing things, because my daughter's asking me, what is that in my arm? People are asking me, like, why are you not going outside? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? So not only did I have an infection in my knee, but they had to take out the 2 screws, and I was left with 2 holes in my kneecaps that I eventually had to fill. But just that traumatic experience alone kept me out of the playoffs. I was supposed to be back in those playoffs. I was supposed to be back in those playoffs in 2019. When we made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, I was supposed to be back. But because I had an infection in my knee, I couldn't come back. So now they had to take the screws out. And by the way, these are the details the media would never tell y'all, ever, because it's all about performance. Oh my gosh, you didn't show up. Oh my gosh, you let your team down. Oh my gosh, you sold on us. Oh my gosh, you let us down. Oh my gosh. And it's like, literally, I dealt with one of the most traumatic experiences in my life dealing with that knee injury. So bomb, I don't need no sympathy from anybody. I'm over it at this point. I got through it. But fast forward that summer, I'm coming off knee surgery. I have muscle atrophy on my left leg. My quad looks like a small chicken wing, bro. I have no bounce. I have no athleticism. I'm slow as shit. I'm sitting in bed and I'm just frustrated. What happened after that, after I'm sitting at home and I'm dealing with knee surgery, I don't know if you've ever been injured, if anybody's ever been injured, right? If anybody's ever been injured, when you can't walk or you can't do the normal things that you want in life, bro, that leads to depression, bro. Yeah, that leads to depression. That leads to mental health issues, because when your body and your mind are not in alignment, it leads to different issues. It leads to different things that you have to deal with. So I had to deal with internal stuff. So coming into 2019, I'm already feeling like I'm myself, but I'm only a shell of myself. I am not really expressing how I'm truly feeling. So 2019 hits, right? Or 2018-19 season hits. We come back. We're predicted to win the NBA championship. We're predicted to go far in the finals. We're predicted to, you know what I mean, like win the whole thing. Like everybody's picking us number one. We have I forgot about my boy T-Row too, Scary Terry. I forgot my boy. Like we had Markieff Morris. We had Aaron Baines. We had I don't want to forget anybody either. We had Shane Larkin on the year before, but then we got what's my boy's name? I don't want to forget anybody's name. What's my boy's name? It's slipping my head. But we had every position that was filled, man. It was supposed to be great. So boom, I go to management in Boston, and I'm like, this is maybe a week into preseason. I'm like, yo, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. That's what I said. I told Boston, I'm like, I'm coming back. And the reason why I said I'm coming back is because I had plans up my sleeve, y'all. When I tell you I had plans up my sleeve, I had plans up my sleeve. I'm not going to tell y'all who I had in mind or what trade was going to happen, because that'll lead to speculation, but I had plans up my motherfucking sleeve. I was like, bruh, I'm coming back. Coming back to Boston. If y'all have me, I made sure it's like, if y'all have me, I'm coming back. So I'm hyped. I say it in front of the Boston crowd. I say it in front of everybody. I tell my teammates, right? I'm like, I'm coming back. I'm signing this deal. And I only said it at that time because I was sure, I was certain, I was happy. I'm like, yo, this is about to be the greatest day of my life after the season is done. I'm about to sign whatever the shit is, right? You know what I mean? It's not so much about the money per se. I want to make sure my family's taken care of. But I was literally happy being able to get that off my chest, so I didn't have to answer any free agency questions, right? And a week later, after I'm living out a dream, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy as ever. A week later, my grandfather passes. He transitions. My grandfather transitions, and it's one of the hardest bit of news I could take in my life, because you know that man definitely inspired me beyond words. You know what I mean? Like he really impacted my life in very positive ways. And you know, it's still hard for me to even talk about, but my grandfather passing after that, I felt like I was letting a lot of my family members down, because I was spending a lot more time dedicating myself to being great in the game, but I wasn't spending enough time being a great family member. And probably some of y'all don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, and this message will go over your head, and you know what I mean, this shit will end up going viral tomorrow, right? But honestly, it was never just about Boston. It was never about you know what I mean, like trying to make sense of a decision I made a week prior to that. All I could do is be there for my family. And like again, I don't really need sympathy, y'all. I appreciate the support, but I had to get through it. And when I had to deal with that, I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with losing a loved one, but you go through different stages of grief. And guess what I had to go through? Guess what I had to go through in front of the public eye? Me grieving. So I'm angry, you know what I'm saying? I'm depressed. I'm over here dealing with real life grief. I cried, you know, about losing my grandfather, bro. And you don't, like, you control and hate all you want, but it's just real shit that goes on in life, where because I'm in the public eye, I can't escape having human emotions. Like, somehow y'all motherfuckers think that we robots out here, and that we don't feel feelings, like, and we don't go through real life circumstances, but we still have to go out and perform. So my grandfather transitions, and then after that we go out on a West Coast trip, and I go to his memorial, and I end up playing a game that next day. And when I tell you that for the rest of the season I wasn't really myself, I definitely wasn't. And I wasn't having fun playing basketball as much anymore, and that started to spill over into our team goals, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely not ever a person that comes in and says, look at me and what's going on. I'm just real. And when I look back on it, would I have done things differently? Absolutely. Would I have done things differently? Absolutely. Did I have to learn from my mistakes in the public eye? Absolutely. Did I have to deal with the consequences of going throughout the season and then making a decision to go back home and be with my family? Absolutely. But let me tell you about the positives. Let me tell you about the positives what ended up happening. I learned how to cope with grief. I learned how to cope with myself going through depression. I learned how to go seek out help from family members. I learned how to make connections stronger. I learned how to admit to being wrong in situations where, you know, you feel justified to be right, but really you just got to move on in life. You know, you just got to put one step in front of the other. Those are some of the positives, and the other positives are I really learned more about myself and what makes me motivated every day to get up. Because if any of y'all know anybody that's dealt with losing a loved one, you can deal with suicidal thoughts. You feel me? You can deal with suicidal thoughts. And that's just one of the things of grief. Like, you don't want to live here anymore on this earth. And that's the realness of life. You feel me? That nobody wants to talk about. And it's not, it don't, and by the way, don't come at the fan base either. Don't come at their fan base. It's all good. Let that rock. You know what I mean? Because I'll get that in a minute. But throughout that season, 2018, 2019, I'm dealing with all this. We end up going into the first round against the Pacers, and we go into the second round against the Bucks. And it was just a different level, bro. It was a different level of physicality. It was a different level of focus. And us as a team, we were still really young. We were only in our second year together. If we all stayed together for 5, 6, 7 years, then I'm pretty sure that, you know, who knows? Y'all can speculate what would have happened, but that didn't. You know what I mean? We had 2 small years together. And I'm judged based on 2 years of being with a team and then leaving that team to go to my hometown to play. And all of the speculation, all the shit that gets thrown on my name, I feel like, again, people just hide their hand all the time. So I had to learn a lot once I left that point in my career. Being in Boston taught me a lot. I definitely dealt with a lot of, shall I say, overt and over-the-top racism, even being a player in Boston. I'm not saying that Boston's racist. Don't ever fucking quote me in saying that shit. All I'm saying is that the reality of the situation is I dealt with a lot of shit that I never talked about, because if I wasn't performing up to their standards or expectations, let's just say words were flying everywhere. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the way that they were treating other teams, and not just in basketball, but in other sports and other entertainment venues, it got to be too much. And I couldn't defend that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say that it was comfortable for me, bro, because it really wasn't. It was very uncomfortable for me. So towards the end of the season, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then, you know, I had to make a move to go back home and be with my family. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't have to say and repeat some of these things. I don't. Because all of this that I'm talking about is really my perspective. Other people may have a different perspective, right? But if you weren't in our locker room, and if you weren't in our day-to-day, you really don't know what the fuck was going on. You really don't. You really don't. If you weren't there every day, if you weren't in our practices, if you weren't in our team meetings, you really don't know what the fuck going on. So when I'm telling you my perspective, you don't have to respect it. You don't have to agree with it. You can criticize it. You can judge it. But this is my perspective, and this is what it is. So going from Cleveland, I told y'all, from 2017, getting traded to Boston, going from Boston and being a free agent, my journey, let's just say injuries, losing loved ones, it shifted me into a whole different path. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't expect my grandfather to pass during the year where I've committed to Boston for 5+ years, and then I lose him, and then I go through some of the worst mental health crises in my life. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with real life issues because I didn't know how to deal with grief. Being in Cleveland, being injured, you know what I mean, being with one of the greatest to ever play the game, and wanting respect from my peers, and wanting to go out and start something new. I didn't know it was going to come with all that, bruh. But it did. But it did, and it only got me stronger. It only got me stronger. It only made me stronger, bro. That's what I'm trying to share with y'all. Like, let all the people talk and do that, but their journeys are not a reflection of anything close to what I've been through. And I don't say that as if we're not living a similar, you know what I mean, a life that is normal, but I'm dealing with this on a public stage. You feel me? I'm dealing with this in the public eye. That's like one of the weirdest things. I'm doing this shit in public. So if you waking up every day and people are like studying your life and observing your life in the way where it's just like, bro, I'm human, like I'm going through shit right now. It's like, you know what I mean? I hope y'all can understand. It's like, nah, we don't understand. Nah, fuck that. You supposed to still be, you know what I mean? Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm like, bro, chill. Chill out. Chill out, bruh. Chill out. So the last 5 years for me have been like dealing with what is preparing me for the next few chapters of my life, because the next 5 years, I guarantee they won't be like the last 5 years. You can have all the, oh Kai, you got second round exit in the playoffs, man. You got swept by Boston this year, man. You're not who you once was, man. You're not this. Like, keep that same energy, bro. You make it greater for redemption to happen. Y'all make it greater, bro. And then on top of that, all the supporters and love that I get outweighs and outshines all of the negativity, I promise you. So when I address the negativity, y'all, I have to, because I'm being funny. I troll that shit. Alright, it's funny to me. It's just the Aries speaking to me. Alright? It's the Aries speaking to me, bruh. It's the Aries speaking to me. So y'all gotta let me talk my ish sometimes, but to all the people that love and support and get inspiration, not only from me but from other great individuals, I'm with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm grateful that I could do this in public, because I'm just showing y'all that they throw a whole bunch of shit and try to hide their hand. So whenever you get successful, or whenever you're on some type of trajectory towards greatness, people are always going to be part of that demise. You know what I mean? Always try to break your foundation, but paying attention to the people that genuinely love and support you really gets you through. You know what I mean? Because I don't walk around alone ever. I don't ever feel alone ever. And I felt most alone when I was dealing with some of the things I was dealing with in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? I felt like, damn, who can I really turn to? And when I found that system, bam, I end up in Brooklyn. Me and Kay get together. We rocking out. We mobbing out. We go to Brooklyn. We shake the whole world up. We're like, yo, fuck this. It's me and you. You know what I mean? We doing this shit together. But even in that sense, like, me and him had to grow in a most beautiful way, because like you look at his journey, you look at my journey, man, like I don't remember dealing with as much shit I dealt with in like 2013-14. What? Bro, what are y'all spamming in here, bro? Yo, bro, chill, bro. Stop talking down on people's names, bro, in the chat, bro. Y'all gotta chill. I'm be honest with you, I don't feel the same way some of y'all feel about teams, players. When y'all be saying all that disrespectful shit, bro, y'all can miss me with that. I don't go behind people's backs and be like, yo, oh man, that guy fucking sucks. Nah, bro, I don't do that. I don't go on social and be like, nah, that guy fucking sucks. Nah, bro, I don't do that. I'm getting too disrespectful on people's sacrifice and hard work and what they do to grind. And we need more appreciation and giving flowers to people that show up, you know, on whether it be the highest pressure situations, bro.